welcome to another Partners in Crime tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to teach you how to make a simple minimalist title intro. You can use this tutorial to make simple animated titles for your YouTube videos, simple lower thirds, or just a simple intro for your YouTube video. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to be making. Hello there and welcome to another Partners in Crime tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to teach you how to make a simple minimalist title intro. You can use this tutorial to make simple animated titles for your YouTube videos, simple lower thirds, or just a simple intro for your YouTube video. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to be making. Alright, now that we've seen what we're going to be making, let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to press X on our keyboard and we're going to delete this default cube. Now we're going to press numpad 1 and we're going to press Ctrl Alt numpad 0. Now we're going to change this render engine to cycles render. And we're going to go down here and change the end frames to 400. We'll try 400 for now. I'm going to change the start frame to 0. And we're going to go over here and change the frame rate to 60 frames per second. And I'm going to drag the resolution all the way up to 100%. We're going to change the output to Xvid. And now we're going to click that folder and we're going to choose a folder on our computer we want our file to save to. You can save it to your documents or your desktop or any folder on your computer you'd like. We're just going to save it to our documents. And we're going to name this Minimalist Tutorial. So now you're going to click accept and it'll save to, once you're done rendering it, it'll save to whichever folder you've chosen over here, and you're just going to click accept. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to change the sampling to, let's try 100 samples, and we'll put the preview, let's try 40. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to performance down here, encoding, and we're going to change the bit rate to the maximum. We'll put it at 17,000. Alright, so now we're ready to go ahead and start making our intro. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the world settings and we're going to change this world to black. That just changes the background to black. You can go into render view and see how that looks. And so your background is black. Now we're going to go back into solid view, and what we're going to do is we're going to add our text. So we're going to press RX90. I'm going to press enter to confirm the rotation. I'm going to press tab. I'm going to erase the text. And you can type whatever text you want here, but for this tutorial we're just going to type minimalist. Now we're going to press tab and we're going to press Shift D. And we're going to drag this down here. And we're going to press tab. And we're going to type intro, and we're going to press tab again. So now you have your text and it says minimalist intro. Again, you can put whatever text you like here, but for this tutorial we're just going to put that here. So now we're going to add curve, and we're going to add a Bezier curve, and now we're going to press RX90, and we're going to press enter to confirm that rotation. And now we're going to press tab to go into edit mode, and we're going to press V, and we're going to click vector, and we're going to press tab to exit edit mode, and we're going to press RY-90, and we're going to press enter to confirm that rotation. Now we're just going to drag this line over here, and we're going to press SZ to size it up a bit, and we're going to press enter to confirm that. And now we're going to add another curve. This time it's going to be a circle. Now we're going to press RX90, and we're going to press enter, and we're just going to drag this over here, and we're going to press S to size it down. Now we're going to select our curve and choose the curve object, the bevel object, to be our Bezier circle. So now we're going to press SY0 just to make that flat, and we're going to select our circle again, and we're going to size it down just to make our line a little bit thinner. And we're going to press enter. Now we're going to select our curve, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the material settings over here, and we're going to press new, and we're going to give it an emission material. Let's change the color to, we're going to make the emission color black. And we're going to go back over here into our world settings. We're going to change the color to white. So we're going to press FFF. That's the color code for white. And now we're going to go into render view and we're going to see how that looks. Alright, so now it's time to give our text a material. We want our text to have a different kind of material than our curve. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the screen here. We're going to go into the node editor, and we're going to select our text, and we're going to go into the material settings, and we're going to press new to give our text a new material. Change that surface to emission. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add input texture coordinate. Now we're going to add vector mapping. The next thing we're going to do is add converter separate XYZ. Now we're going to add another emission material, so we're going to add shader emission, and we're going to add a color for brightness contrast, and we're going to go ahead and add a mix shader. Alright, now we should be ready to start hooking these up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the object of our texture coordinate and hook it up to the vector right here in our mapping node. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hook this up, this vector in our mapping node, to our separate XYZ. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to organize this a little better. We're going to drag this out a little bit so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to just drag this over here, and we're going to put the X of our separate XYZ into the color of our brightness contrast. And drag that over here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag our mix shader up over here and put it there. Make sure the emission's hooked to it, and we're going to drag this other emission and put it to the all the way bottom node in our mix shader. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our brightness contrast, the color, and we're going to hook it up to the factor of our mix shader. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to change this emission color right here, and we're just going to change it to black. We're just going to drag this all the way down, make it black. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just make this screen a little bit smaller because we're done making our material. And we're going to go back and we're going to focus on how our text looks. So our text is black, but you can see this fade effect it has. What we're going to do is we're going to go back into solid mode, and we're going to add empty plain axis. And we're just going to drag it over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select our text again. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the object to the empty. And now we're going to go ahead and select our empty, go into render view, and see how this looks. So what we're going to do is press GX and move your empty. There you can see it has that nice fading effect. But what we want is we want for our text to completely disappear. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our material a little bit. We're actually not done making it. We're almost there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into solid mode, and we're going to go to the node editor, and we're going to make sure you have your text selected, and you're going to change the emission to whatever the background is. So our background is white, so we're going to make the bottom emission here white. So we're going to make it FFF. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change the rotation to 180 degrees because we want it to pop out from the left. So we're going to put the contrast up to 100, and this is how you change how fadey it looks, basically. So we're going to put this up to 100, and we're going to go ahead and select our empty and go into render view, and we're going to see how this looks. We're going to press GX, and you can see that our empty is making our text, basically, it's disappear. So what we're going to do is we're going to press enter, and we're going to go out back into solid mode. We're going to drag this empty over here. What we're going to do is we're going to drag this text over here. We want to make sure that it looks like the text is popping out from the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to press make sure your empty is selected, and press GX while you're in render view, and you're just going to drag that over there just like that until it looks like your M is popping out. Now what we're going to do is go back into solid mode. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to select this curve, and we're going to have to move it in front a little bit. So we're just going to move that in front a little bit, and we're going to select our empty again, and we're going to go into render view. We're just going to make sure that looks about right. Alright, it looks like our text is popping out from over there, so that's good. So what we're going to do now is, this is material 0.002. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our second text right here, and we're going to select material 002, but we're going to press this plus so that it doesn't affect the other material, and we're going to make the emission a different color. You can make the colors whatever you like to make the colors, but for this tutorial we're gonna choose this pinkish purple color, and we'll just change the emission strip to 3 on that purple so it gets a little bit more, the color has a little bit more pop, and that looks about right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on animating our text. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this out here. I'm going to put that there. And we're going to go into render view. Alright. And what we're going to do is we're going to press B and box select. And just put this out a little bit further. There we go. Just put it a little bit closer to that line. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure in solid mode. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change this down here to audio video sync. That's very important. And what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to frame 60. So you're going to type 60 down here. And what you're going to do is you're going to select your text and you're going to press I. And you're going to press location. And you're going to select this text as well and press I and press location. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to frame 0. And we're just going to drag our text back in there behind the line. And we're going to press I, we're going to press location, and we're going to press I, and we're going to press location again. So now let's go ahead and see how this looks. We're going to play down here. You can see our text comes out from behind this line here. Now you can go to the middle, basically the middle of the animation. It's actually close to the beginning, but we're going to go ahead and see how that looks. And it looks like our text is popping out from that line. And that's exactly what we wanted. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the dope sheet over here. Alright, and there you can see those are our keyframes. And what we're going to do is we're going to select our top text here. And we're going to go to, let's say, frame 200. And we're going to press I. I'm going to select this as well, the bottom text, and we're going to press I for location. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to, this is 60 frames per second, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to frame 260. And now we're going to just drag these two out back behind the line. Alright, so let's go ahead and see how that looks. Let's go to the timeline down here and go all the way back and play. See how that looks. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on animating our curve. We're not done with the text yet, but we're going to go ahead and animate our curve so we don't forget about that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the curve settings, and we're going to change, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to frame 60, back to frame 60, and what we're going to do is we're going to press I, and now we're going to go to frame 0, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag that down, and we're going to press I again, and we're going to go ahead and see how it looks. Alright, and so you can see our curve is going up just the way we wanted it to. And again, we're just going to go to frame 200. Yeah, 200. And what we're going to do is we're going to press I. I'm going to press I again for the start and the end. See how that looks. And go to frame 260. I'm going to drag that down. And we're going to press I. And we're going to go ahead and see how that looks. Alright, so we can see our curve is animated and our text is animated. So the first thing we're going to do is going to go down here, we're going to scroll, make sure you have this selected right here, this click arrow icon. I'm going to select that because you want to make sure you're only changing the keyframes for what you have selected. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the keyframes for this curve here. We're going to right click, now we're going to press B, now we're going to press G to bring these keyframes to, let's say, right there, in between 160 and 170. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click, and we're going to press B. We're going to do the same thing we did for the other one. And what we're going to do is we're going to box select the entire thing right now, and we're going to press G. And we're going to put this at about frame 60. Alright, now we're going to right click, and we're going to press B to box select. And we're going to press G. And we'll put that at about frame 200. So let's go ahead and see how that top text goes with the line. The line comes up and the top text comes out. And that's basically exactly what we wanted. Now what we want now is for this bottom text to come out after the top text. So what we're going to do is press A, make sure you have all your keyframes selected there. I'm going to drag this out to about, let's say, frame 100. I'm going to press enter. Now we're going to go ahead and see how that looks. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on these keyframes, and we're going to press B, and we're going to box select, and we're going to press G and bring these in a little bit further. Let's try frame 240, see how that looks. Press enter, and we're going to drag this down, and we're going to see how that looks. Alright, we're going to put it down just a little bit sooner, so we'll try frame 230. You press G and you drag it along the dope sheet. And what we're going to do is, we're going to play this out again and see how it looks. Alright, now it's basically animated. We're just going to make sure our curve doesn't disappear until our text does. So what we're going to do is, we already have these keyframes selected, so we're just going to drag this timeline out. You press your middle mouse button and you can drag along the timeline. And what we're going to do is, we're going to hover over the dope sheet, and we're going to press G. We're going to move this line out a bit. Let's try bring this to frame 200 and see how that looks. Still a little bit too soon, so what we're going to do is we're going to drag it out to frame, let's try just before 280. We're going to see how that looks. Okay, we're going to play this. And that's just a little bit late, so what we're going to do is we're going to press G and drag it to just before 270. And we're going to press enter, and we're going to go ahead and see how that looks. Maybe just a little bit sooner, and that should be it. We're going to press enter on this, and it should look just right. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to press the middle mouse button. We're going to play a complete animation and see how it looks. Alright, now if you want the text to come out just a little bit sooner, I think we'll have the text come out just a little bit sooner. So we're going to right click on the bottom text, and then we're going to hold shift, and we're going to right click on the top text, and we're going to press A. Make sure we have all of them selected, and we're going to press G. We're just going to move it back a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on our curve, and we're going to press G. And we're going to move this out to, let's say, just before frame 250. We're going to press enter, and we're going to go ahead and see how this looks. Alright, that's about how we want it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into render view. And you can see you have, if you want to change the color of your text, you just go back into solid view, and you're going to come over here and you're going to select the text, and you're going to scroll over here, and you're going to go into the node editor, and you can change the colors to whatever you like to change the color to. You just change the top emission, and make sure you follow the steps at the beginning of this tutorial so that when you save your video, it saves to whichever folder that you decided to save it to. You click whatever folder, you name your file up here, and then you click accept. And then once you're done, you're going to want to save your blend file, save it to your computer, name it whatever you'd like to name it, and then you're going to press render, and you're going to press render animation, and it'll render out to whatever folder you've selected over here. So thanks for watching another tutorial from Partners in Coordinated Rendering of Ideas, Motion, and Effects, and we hope you subscribe for more tutorials and intros. And if you want your own pre-made titles, animations, or lower thirds, we have a simple motion titles pack, and we have a simple lower thirds pack. And if you just want to learn how to make motion graphics in Blender, you can check out our channel for more tutorials, or check out our Udemy course. We also have a Patreon if you're just interested in supporting our channel. So thanks for watching, and we hope you subscribe for more.